out, and Randy Moss, without even really being able to run, as he shoots the moon to the
pass, pumps to the left, 8 seconds left. He gets away from the pressure, fires to the end zone. It's hot! It's Greg Lewis! Oh my heavens! Greg Lewis's first catch has given the Minnesota.
Four, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What is going on, everybody? You got SKOL Doc here. This is House Calls with SKOL Doc, brought to you by Minnesota Sports Talk. Joining me, as always, is Dave. Dave, how are you, my man?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Excited about the game. If you're watching this, probably in the morning of the game. Let's go. I'm ready.
Hell yeah, I am stoked for this game. This is one of the better matchups of the year. Coming into the season, this is one that most of us had jotted down for an L, just expecting the Texans with CJ Stroud to come in here, and we didn't know how close this game was going to go. And then fast forward, the Vikings start 2-0, and the Vikings are still 1.5-point dogs at home, but they have a real shot to win this game, and that's exciting. I'm expecting a hell of a game today.
Yeah, the betting line started to narrow. I think it went down to 1.5, if I'm not mistaken. ESPN had like 9 people having us lose against San Francisco. Daniel Jeremiah has now got a bandwagon behind him, and half of the people they post 5 and 5 said it's like pretty much a pick 'em, at least with ESPN. And I honestly don't believe anything they say, but now that they're closer to our side, I'm like, yeah, I believe them now. So that's how it works. That's how it works.
It seems like the bettors in Vegas in general are starting to respect the Vikings. I mean, and the stats back that up. When you look at DVOA, I think the Minnesota Vikings are the number 2 team in the league right now in terms of their efficiency as a football team. And so they're just playing great ball. So let's preview this game, and let's start with some of the injuries. So Joe Mixon is not going to play for the Houston Texans. Also, Dameon Pierce is out for them. So they are down to Cam Akers as their starting running back. Signed early this offseason. It looked like he was going to be joining the Vikings. He was working out in Minnesota. And then to everyone's surprise, he ended up signing with the Texans. So he's going to have a prominent role as their lead back later on today. And I think this plays into the Vikings' favor. It's quite a step down from Joe Mixon to Cam Akers. And if the Vikings can stop the run and put CJ Stroud in some 3rd and long situations, that's going to make it a tough day for him. Maybe we'll see CJ Stroud throw his first interception in a long time.
It's going to be tougher for him, but the what I'm looking for is the challenge, or like you said, they got good receivers, and I think this group is going to challenge us more than the other, believe it or not, the other teams that we played. So I do feel like this is a challenge. This will show us what our defense is about. I know, like last week I had Tyler Fornes on, and he was like, well, we're going to lose against San Francisco, but we're going to feel really good about ourselves. This is where I hope we feel really good about ourselves after playing the Texans, because we already feel like we got a good defense, even though we gave up almost 400 yards against San Francisco. But if we go in here and hold these guys down, I'm going to feel really good about the season. I just, we're going to be living off our defense and efficiency on offense, and hopefully we curb this turnover issue we got going on. But I think the challenge here is our cornerbacks and our safeties, and see how they play, because it seems like we're getting after the ball, and that's what's been helping them out. Now, if we don't get after the ball, after the quarterback, it might be lights out for Texans, right? They might run the score up on us. But if we just keep getting after the ball, so these guys don't have to cover a long time, that's going to be a big part of this game.
Yeah, I completely agree. When you look at the Texans' defense against our offense, they certainly have some great pass rushers with Will Anderson, of course, Danielle Hunter. But I'm not too worried, with our tackles shutting them down. Hunter may get a sack today, but I do think that our tackles are going to win most of those battles. And the guy that we need to look out for is Mario Edwards up the middle. So that's one thing that we need to keep an eye on and make sure that interior pressure doesn't hit home with Sam Darnold. But this is a team led by D'Amico Ryans who they will blitz you. And so far, Sam Darnold has been great against the blitz so far this season with over 100 quarterback rating and no interceptions against the blitz. So let's see if he can keep that going. Like you said, as long as they can keep Sam Darnold clean, I do think that the Vikings can move the ball, especially at home. And I do think the Vikings have a good chance. If they can play turnover-free football, hey, we've talked about it before, the Vikings are 19-0 under O'Connell when they tie or win the turnover battle. So that's going to be a key today at home.
And if I'm not mistaken, we're like we're even right now too. We're 0, right? Four turnovers, and we've caused 4.
I believe that's right. Yeah.
I think we may have had 2 this last. I know we was tied the first game, but I forget if we had 2 turnovers this last game. We should have had more. Gosh, we should have had more with Cashman. It was like Purdy was throwing him the ball. But what do you think about the? Let's see here, it is the Chris Boyd revenge game.
Yeah, it didn't cross my mind, but
Stephon Diggs, truthfully, Danielle Hunter and Diggs are coming to
and Diggs is their wide receiver 2/wide receiver 3. He's kind of their more underneath guy right now. So he's kind of the guy to watch out for on third down. Honestly, I think we're all more worried about Nico Collins. He's just an absolute beast. Great wide receiver. He's the guy that you have to shade your coverage toward. And then you have to watch out for Tank Dell because that guy can beat you over the top, and he's a skilled wide receiver as well. So you were absolutely right that this secondary is going to be tested. But when you look at the Texans' 2 wins so far this season, they beat the Colts at home in a close game, and they played the Bears close, in Houston. So 2 teams that I believe the Vikings are better than, and now they're coming to Minnesota to play in one of the toughest environments in football in the game. So, I'm feeling good about the Vikings. And if they show up like they did against the Niners, and that is something to bring up, actually, is that going back to last year, if you look at teams' records after they played the Niners, they usually lost that next week because the Niners just beat the piss out of them, and they were reeling and just sore. So we'll see.
Last year.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. The Vikings are a little bit banged up right now. Jordan Addison is out. Dallas Turner is out. And then Ivan Pace was a late scratch too, as he hurt his ankle in practice. So we'll keep an eye on him going into next week at Green Bay. But, the Vikings have been playing good ball, so let's hope they can keep it going.
Now, we called up Bo Richter, right? What do you think about him coming up? Do you think he's going to see any time? Because I believe Dallas Turner
he might get a couple third downs here or there as the NASCAR package, just getting another defensive end on the field in a 3rd and long type situation. But we'll have to see. I also wouldn't be surprised if he's like a healthy and active tomorrow.
Yeah. Now, the big I put a poll out there like the biggest surprise, and most people gravitated towards Sam Darnold being the biggest surprise, almost 50% of the people that I polled now on Twitter. But a lot of people made a really good case, and I put the offensive line as a whole as one of the big surprises. I feel like it outside of the defense, I think that the offensive line is what's made our offense work, keeping Sam Darnold clean. What do you think about that?
I'd have to agree with you. To me, it wasn't Sam Darnold because and maybe it was just hopeful thinking on my part, but I've always thought that Sam Darnold can play within himself and be a point guard, game manager, which is what he's done a great job of doing. I mean, that 97-yard touchdown was just an excellent throw. I mean, that's a skilled throw right there. So that's a little bit more than being a point guard in that instance. But, he's just been good enough to win, and he's playing efficient football. But Blake Brandel to me is the surprise that I was not expecting. I was just going to be happy with average guard play if he could give you that. He's playing well above average guard right now, and they're paying him nothing. So this is fantastic. So we really have just one weak link right now on the offensive line, which is Ed Ingram. But you can cover up one weak link.
Yeah, I think Bradbury. There's a lot of talk about Bradbury. It just seems like he's playing a lot stronger than in the past. I was a big advocate, and I've kind of toot my own horn about Brandel. I was just advocating for him all year, but I didn't think he was going to be this good.
No,
I didn't think he was going to play this good.
Just
but
stonewalling guys. He's a massive guy.
Yeah, he's 6'7" playing guard. And, that which makes me feel like, oh my gosh, but he doesn't have the long, lanky arms though. So it's not it's not that situation. I mean, he was a tackle in college, and he played left tackle backup for us, and he was in there during the travesty of a Dallas Cowboy game in 22. But yeah, he's found a spot. We found a guard that we can anchor that left side along with Darisaw for a while. If when we re-sign Darisaw and we re-sign Brandel, I think that might be a priority, is to keep this line, at least most of this line, together, because it is really finally starting to gel. And I can't remember when we last had a line like this. It's
Oh man,
2012.
so much fun. Yeah. 09 with Brett Favre. I mean, we had McKinney and we still had Hutchinson, right? 09. Yeah. And then we had the center Sullivan. Phil Lodeholt was our right tackle. And then Herrera on the right guard was probably our weakest link, but he was just a mauler in the run game.
Yeah.
So,
and I was saying, like, in 2012 we had the run game, so it was like they were making Minnesota Moving Company was the nickname, right? So now keep in mind 2017, our offensive line coach who died was just a marvel at coaching, and he got that team at least looking decent for that 2017 season. And then it just fell off a cliff the next couple of years. It was a big difference in that offensive line. It was the same dude. So it really meant a lot with that, when I forget his name. He used to be Miami's head coach. I feel bad, but yeah, it's coaching, man. This team is just filled to the brim with good coaching, and it's showing on the field. And there's a lot to be said this week about, we got like Dark Kevin now, Kevin O'Connell's dark side. And like, there was a whole lot of say he was too soft. He's too much of a team. I didn't see that. You could see the way he talked to people in public. But when I think that receiver show came out and they showed him just undressing the players after fumbles after one of the games, and you could hear through the door of the locker room. Yeah, he praises in public and bitches out in private, and punishes in private, and that's a good sign of a leader.
Yeah, I would put up the Vikings coaching against the rest of the league right now. I'm that confident in Kevin O'Connell and Brian Flores, and it seems like the NFL community is starting to catch light of that. And I have no doubt in my mind that Kevin O'Connell is going to be extended. And my buddies and I were just having a conversation actually last night of, are we starting to change our mind on Brian Flores potentially getting a head coaching job, even though, with the lawsuit and everything going on? Because if he's going to turn out a top 5 defense this year, which it's trending that way, that this could go that route, some teams might think twice about asking that guy to come lead their team, even with the way that he managed Tua. I mean, talent is talent. Now, I'm going to hope to God that he stays here as our defensive coordinator, but Andrew Kramer with Star Tribune was actually floating the ideas of potential replacements in that scenario if it happens, and they were talking about Durante Jones, the defensive backs coach, who would probably step in and keep the same scheme. But something to keep an eye on, because my God, this defense is playing phenomenally right now.
Yeah, my hope is that we got a successor that's learned and is capable of doing it, right? Now I know, like, I forget Zimmer's old assistant coach, and he ended up, being the assistant. He ended up having him. He was the defensive coordinator while Zimmer was out with his eye issue, and the defense looked great while he was out. So I'm kind of hoping that it would be one of those situations where we can just hand it off and it'll be just no drop in quality. It's not always the case though. It is not always the case, and that's my biggest fear. But yeah, I'm leaning along with you that if he keeps this up, you just can't deny. You can't ignore it. Be so good they can't ignore you, and
Right.
that's what he's doing right now.
Now, hopefully, in that scenario where he does get more attention around the league, he would pull a Ben Johnson and want to finish what he started here, because they are building this defense in his image. They are giving him the resources through free agency, and we have a shit ton of cash in the pipeline for next year that we can give him some even more toys to play with. So,
well, the one downside is he's already got a ring, with the Patriots. So, and he was technically the defense. Well, he wasn't in name, but he was the D coordinator for him that year. But yeah, that's one strike against us. But yeah, and the fact that he passed on continuing the job or the opportunity with the Cardinals, probably a good idea for him.
Yeah,
coming here, and he's just kind of he's still young. He's reestablished himself. But yeah, he's being so good that he could be so good that they just can't ignore him anymore.
You know that he's going to want another bite at that head coaching apple, though. He's going to want to prove that he can do it and that he can manage the quarterback relationship and that he's learned from the first time around. So we'll
look
see.
At all these guys that have failed, like Belichick and God, what's his name from Seattle? They failed in the league before. They came back, and now we got one that's the GOAT and another one with a couple Super Bowls. It's like he has shown maturity. The way he handled Tua going after him in the media a little bit, I kind of looked at Tua and go, God, man, you shouldn't do that.
Let it go.
Right. And like the way Flores handled it was completely professional, and he accepted responsibility for the way he handled it. And then he had his teammates standing, Harrison Phillips and Metellus standing right next. I think it was Metellus standing right next to him, backing him up. And you can see, and the way the players think about this guy, that he has grown from it. And yeah, it's really showing.
Yeah. Well, Dave, let's pick this Vikings game. You want to lead us off? Who do you have winning this game?
The way they haven't blown anybody out. They played in close games. They scored 3 points the second half this last game. I feel like we should have won that San Francisco game going away. We should have went up 27-7. I think it would have been when we fumbled at the 1 yard line. This is a team I felt like we should have blown out, and they're one of the best teams in the league. I think this is a game we can win by even 10 points. I'm thinking 27-17. Let's go.
I love it, man. You took the words out of my mouth. I thought I was going to have a hot take by saying, listen, I think the Vikings are going to win by 7+ points. I think that CJ Stroud can be too careful with the ball at times, not throwing interceptions and whatnot. I think that the looks that Brian Flores is going to throw at him are going to confuse him. And I think the Vikings are going to shut down Cam Akers and their running game. And conversely, I think that the Vikings are going to have a good running game tomorrow or today when they play the Houston Texans. And Sam Darnold is going to do enough, and Justin Jefferson's going to kill him like he kills everybody. So I'm gonna share your sentiment. I'm going to say, I'll say 27-21, 6-point win. SKOL, baby. 3-0.
Let's
go.
Let's go.
I mean, what a start that would be for the rest of the year. And if they lose today, I'm not going to freak out. And, it's still a great start, 2-1. And then we got Green Bay next week at Lambeau. So we're going to get ready for that one. That's going to be a big game for us. But
I don't think the Texans fans travel like as much as San Francisco fans. So, hey, everybody that owns season tickets, stop selling your tickets to the away team.
I get it. Like, hey, you probably sold that one early in the year when you thought the Vikings weren't going to be that good. And, the Niners bought those tickets up thinking that they were going back to the Super Bowl. So that happens. But starting now, this team this year is a pretty damn good team. Let's keep our tickets. Let's cheer for the Vikings.
Keep your damn tickets.
Yeah.
If I see another game, I'm dropping the hammer. You don't want the hammer dropped. No, I'm kidding, but yeah, I get it. But geez, come on, guys, sell it to other Vikings fans. Dude, well, or hold on to them until the week of the game and sell them to Vikings fans.
Yeah.
Do something. I don't know.
Before we get to our pick six and we pick 6 different over-unders for the game, I wanted to try something this week, Dave, and I want to pick our NFC North opponent games. So we got the Chicago Bears going up against I'm blanking right now. Oh shit.
Oh, let me pull up. I'll pull it up.
Well, we have the Lions at Arizona. Let's start with the Lions game. Lions at Arizona. I'm going to pick Arizona to beat the Lions in the desert. The Lions have played kind of shitty, and mostly Jared Goff has played kind of shitty in the first 2 games.
Jared Goff is not doing good.
No. Now, he is great in domes, and this game is inside. But, yeah, he has not looked good so far this season. The Cardinals, conversely, have looked great on offense through 2 games this year. Just absolutely crushed the Rams last week at home. So give me the Cardinals to upset the Lions.
I'm right there with you. And I've never been a big fan of the Cardinals quarterback, but he is a human joystick and can change games. But, when the Call of Duty comes around, the release party, he's a wash after that. But right now he's fine. So, and yeah, the way the Lions have been playing and then the way the Cardinals handled the Rams, yeah, and going out west. Remember, when we go out west, we suck, and I don't think Detroit will be. I think it's the same issue. So I don't know what it is. Of changing 2 time zones, but I think it's 2. Oh, the Arizona is a little different because they don't have daylight savings time, and I think daylight savings time is still going.
Yeah, my mom lives out there. That might
be a little bit different.
I think
it won't be as big a blowout for the Cardinals as I expected. But, yeah, I got the Cardinals winning this one.
And then we got the Bears at Colts. That's who they played. And
it's just going to be ugly.
Yeah, that's gonna be a 12-10 type of game. And I'm going to pick the Bears to win that one. The Colts, I mean, they lost to Malik Willis last week. So I don't have a lot of confidence in this Colts team. I think that I think it's going to be a battle between Cairo Santos and whoever the kicker is for the Colts, and the Cairo Santos is going to come out on top.
Yeah, I could. It's almost like one of those games. One of these games, Caleb Williams is going to figure it out and be better.
Yeah, I'm going to give him probably a full quarter of the season before he figures it out. I think it's going to take some time.
I mean, at least a little bit. I'm not
I
saying.
I might make a bet, like throw $10 on that game for the Bears defense to score, because I think that the Colts offense is going to give them one.
Yeah, I could feel like this. I don't think the Colts are good, and we may, Anthony Richardson, he might throw a spectacular, one of the best throws I've ever seen. Right, I think it was the first week.
That was against the Texans.
One of the best throws you'll ever see a guy throw, but he doesn't do that every play, right?
80 yards in the air, just crazy throw.
Yeah, and roll into his left or something like
back
that.
Foot just launched it. But his completion percentage is like 50%. You got to be better than that.
And that was the issue coming out of college.
Yeah.
I mean, I was high on going up and getting him just because of the physical talent, right?
Right. And
physical talent, just get a coach around him, have him sit for a year. I thought he had to do that. He gets hurt right away. He ends up having to sit. But, he has a physical talent, right? And if he was with us right now, we'd probably be playing a lot differently than he is now. But, yeah, I could see the Bears pulling that one out. And like you said, it would be the defense causing problems for the Colts. And, yeah, it saddens me to say that the Bears will win. But, yeah, I think they'll win.
And then we have the Packers in Nashville taking on the Titans. And give me the Titans in that game. I think the Titans are going to be able to shut down the run, and that's all the Packers are going to want to do. And on offense, the Titans can do a little bit more than what the Colts were able to do in Lambeau, and they should get the win. And look for Jordan Love to come back and play next week against the Vikings, by the way. He's been practicing. I think he will be cleared next week.
So this one's a little hard because I lived in Nashville and I know for a fact that there'll be half the stadium will be filled with Packer fans. Titans are 0-2. They care about college football in that state. I've been to a Bears game there. Bears almost scored 4 touchdowns on defense once. Again, it was I always bring this up because after the game was over, I went to the bar to watch the Vikings and Christian Ponder throw for 60 yards against Seattle. It was a terrible game. But I remember that game, and every time I would go to a Tennessee Titans game that wasn't the Vikings, it'd be filled with the other stadium. I can see the Packers fans taking over that stadium, and I think the Packers actually have a good team, and it might be that situation where Malik runs out around a bit. Will Levis still, making bad mistakes. I could see the Packers going into Nashville and winning that one. And I hate it.
Yeah.
And I hate it.
All right, let's get to our pick 6.
Hopefully no one pukes on the ball. Well, hopefully the guy pukes on the ball a lot this next game. So Malik won't throw it. Maybe that's a good thing. But, go ahead. Pick 6. All right. So I'll read what it is, and then I'll post the answers. Okay. So pick 6 is where we pick 6 over-unders for the game. And right now I'm winning 2-4 to his 1-5. Let's see. Go. Oops, sorry. I already gave one. Will Reichard, 1.5 field goals made.
Yeah, I'm going over for Will the Thrill.
Yeah, we both went over on this one. He's due. He's due for a couple, I think.
The dude is nails. He's not going to miss.
Love this guy. I put out legend or no on Twitter. It was just being fun. But it's one of those things is I just feel good about this kid.
Yeah.
It's unusual to feel this way about a kicker. I hate when we draft kickers. I hate it. Absolutely hate it.
Right.
This one felt right.
Yeah.
This one felt right. Okay, we got Jets, because that's his name now. 79.5 yards over under.
Over.
All right. I thought you were field goal. He's kicking a field goal, guys. Okay, no, I'm kidding. All right, I got over 2. I think we're gonna feed him the ball. I really do. I think Sam Darnold has gotten plenty comfortable with barring knock on pressed plywood here. Barring injury, he's easily gonna make that.
Yeah.
All right, Aaron Jones, 48.5 rushing yards.
Going over.
Okay, I went under, and he's on my fantasy team, so it hurts me. And I am starting him in 2 of my leagues. I don't want him to do this, and I picked him over the first time we did this, and he did it. He got almost 100 yards, but I felt like he got a little dinged up this last game. I don't know. I think and then the way that Ty Chandler ran, this might be one of those things that we're still ride the hot hand, but that's rushing yards. It could be a lot more in receiving yards. He still might get 80 yards offense.
Yeah,
right.
I said over. It was a hip or whatever they called it, and then Jones has said that he's fine. I think that they're still going to follow 6 touches for Jones to 4 touches, that 60-40 ratio that they've been doing. I think Jones will get the ball more than Chandler. This is a really tough rush defense that they're going up against with the Texans, but I think Jones is going to run like a man pissed off because he was not happy about his fumble on the 1-yard line last week. And I think you're going to see. I
almost want to change my mind, but I can't.
Aaron Jones.
I almost want to change my mind, but I won't.
And 50 yards for Aaron Jones, I just think that's doable. Hell, he can break a 25-yarder at any given point, and he's halfway there.
100%.
I think he's going over.
I kind of felt like we were almost going to throw the ball a little more too, and that he could get more receiving yards. So I kind of felt like that. Even though I chose 232.5, I chose under, so I don't make any sense. But
It's a good line.
but I felt like 209 yards the first game, 260 something, 97 of them came in one play. I just felt it's going to be more of an efficient thing. Still, relying on our defense, short fields, things like that. That he won't break 232. More than capable of it. I just feel like it might not get there. Short fields, good defense, things like that.
I probably should have said under based on what I feel like I'm projecting here as a game, which is I think the Vikings run the ball well. The play action kind of works. I think they're going to be playing with a lead, hopefully, most of the game, if not a very close game script. So, Sam Darnold won't have to throw a million times. So you very well might hit this. I might have missed on the over, but just trying to be optimistic here, man. Let's score some points.
Now, and speaking of points, Sam Darnold 1.5 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's thrown 2 each of the first 2 games, I believe. So let's keep riding that. I'm going to say over.
I said over 2. I just think we'll get those. We'll get those throws. I think we're still throwing at the goal line. We're still throwing at the goal line. We're not relying, all on the run. And I feel like we're showing like sometimes last year we weren't very early on, especially we were just terrible at the goal line, but there were spurts of it. And I feel like right now I feel like we're a little consistent now. And I think he's going to rely on Sam Darnold's arm. And then, every once in a while we'll break a long one. So I think he can get 2 out of him. I just want that INTs to be 0 this game.
Yeah, same. No turnovers in the red zone this game.
And then I got CJ Stroud. I think he threw for like 260 some last week. It's 263.5, and you got him.
Yeah, I'm going to say over on 263 for Stroud. He very well could hit the 300 mark, and that's me projecting that they're not going to have a good running game with Cam Akers this week, and I think they're going to have to do it a lot through the air. So that's my thought on the over.
Yeah, I'm going under. I just feel like our defense is gonna hold up. But it does make sense if they are playing from behind and the run offense isn't working. I may have a little more faith in Cam Akers than you. I thought I was banging the drum to have him start because I knew they didn't think enough of Ty Chandler. But I was like, at least put Cam Akers out there. And I think he showed he can play complete football. He blocks, he runs, he can catch. I think he's a complete football player, and he's a gamer, I think. And I picked him up in my fantasy league. I may not start him because I'm starting Aaron Jones. Damn it!
Yeah.
But I put him on. I have him on my bench just in case. I think in Mixon, right? If he's out longer. But I think CJ Stroud is going to be under.
And a little bonus over under. We won't count this one, but Cam Akers over under is 62 yards rushing. I'll take the under on Cam Akers. 62 yards rushing. I think the Vikings going to shut that down.
Well, we gave up 100 to San Fran's backup. I can see if they,
Mason runs tough.
I like.
And that offensive line is no joke either. They can
100% true
run block. So
bonus one doesn't count. So
yeah.
If I'm wrong, it doesn't matter. This part of the tape will be destroyed.
Yeah.
I'll go over on Cam Akers. I love that dude. But I don't want him to. Let's
hope the Vikings pull through for us today. It's going to be a hell of a ball game, and if we win today, you bet your ass those Vikings going to have some respect on their name, and it's going to be fun to watch some Sports Center after this one. All right, everybody, have fun, stay safe, and SKOL, baby.
SKOL Vikes.